Hi everyone, Ned here from Drive EV, and over the weekend I noticed a few people talking about replacing pollen filters in a Nissan Leaf and being confused about how to do it, where to do it, what to do it. So I've got a couple of pollen filters here in the car, so let's have a look. So since I do quite a few of them, for me the actually easiest way is to remove this cover underneath, which literally pops up, and then I can stick my hand in and unclip this cover. So this is the way the cover sits. So it sits in a lip down here, and this is the bit that you lever up and pull off, and once you pull that off, this comes out. So it goes in like that, out like that. I'll show you that later. Once you've got that in, you can then stick your hand in, you can remove the pollen filter. There is also another way. You remove this little cover from in here. There is a gap in the glove box where you can see through, and you can see this part, so you can see what you're doing, which is this way up. The other way is to remove the glove box. Now, depending on whether it's a New Zealand new one or a Japanese import, you either need a normal Phillips or a T20 Torx bit, and there are two screws there, two down the bottom there, and two down the bottom there, and you're just going to undo them. So you undo those, and now we're going to be just a touch rough. So we're going to pull this glove box out, and there's a light in there that's attached to a cable, and we don't want to yank too hard, but with this lid mostly closed, you can just give it a bit of a pull. You can see it comes, and then on the other side as well, and undo that. If you pull this too hard and weird like I just did, there's some hinges that just sort of clip back into place down the bottom. So if this is definitely the easiest way if you haven't done one before. Now you have a clear view of this, and I'll show you on this pollen filter. So you've got a couple of different kinds. We've got just your basic one, and this one's a fancy charcoal filter one. They have a little pull tab. You can use them, but they do break off regularly. So it's going to be installed like this, and the hole is actually only this big that this comes out of. As you can tell, this is the cover. So we're going to pull this giant filter out of this little tiny hole. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to push it in to fold it in so that it can come out. So I tend to just push it in and then pull on the pull tab until I can get my finger in, and at that point you just manhandle it out. And that's the dirty pollen filter. To put the new one in, I tend to squeeze it along here a bit. To imagine this is a hole, I try to get it in sort of like that, push it through, and then the last bit I tend to sort of squeeze in the top and the bottom, and then it expands again on the end. You want to make sure that once it's in, you can give it a bit of a wiggle to make sure it's free and it's not sort of still bunched up like this. The amount of ones that I pull out that are shaped like this when they come out, where they've just been folded up in weird ways, yeah, not good. I've actually also done one where there was two in these, so you can fit two of them. It was a hard pull to get out. So we just put this back in. Squeeze in the top and bottom. Give it a bit of a jiggle. Make sure it's free. And then this goes in. Again, clip the bottom in first and the top over the top. And it's in. At this point you can put the glove box back in. Don't forget the cable. Plug the cable in. Sort of roughly line it up when you get it close. Just be aware of there's a little clip on the side, and then just it's in just like that. You can put the screws back in. This panel literally just line it up, and it's ready to go. And then you have a nice clean pollen filter. Okay, I hope that helped someone out on figuring out how to remove a pollen filter yourself. We do offer it here as a service, obviously, at Drive EV, and we also just sell the pollen filters if you're interested in doing it yourself. And that's the story on how to replace a pollen filter in a Nissan Leaf. I hope it's actually T20 before I come back. Yes, but this T20 sucks.